Right, you should be back.
We back? Right, so apparently no one heard sound. We back?
We're back.
Yep, we're back. Okay. Right then, we'll roll again from the top.
Now then.
Right then. Hello there about the picks. Jack, we were saying we probably think it's going to be Le'Veon Bell or Todd Gurley to go first. We were talking about later on in the draft how it's going to be a little bit more difficult to decide who's going to go where, especially with the guys that we tend to draft with. What's your expectation for the draft realistically, Jack? Picking midway through the first round, what are you hoping for?
It's quite hard because you don't get that great first pick where you get one of the best players in the league, and it's also you don't get that nice little turn where you get 2 picks back to back. But yeah, plenty of players to pick from, so I should be okay.
I think this is the year for me personally where I think there's enough running backs out there where you're probably going to be able to get 2 decent running backs. I think Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette have kind of brought the running game back. For a few years it was a passing league. QBs and receivers were going first, whereas I think you're going to be looking at majority running backs going in the first round. Wide receivers probably going to go Antonio Brown, maybe DeAndre Hopkins. Any other receivers that you think might go in that first round?
Odell Beckham at the end of the first round, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. I think if you could get Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley, it's a big risk if the Giants don't perform, but I think that'd be a good duo to have. When do you see the first quarterbacks coming off the board, or when would you expect us to see the first quarterbacks coming off the board?
I mean, the first QB is going to be Aaron Rodgers. Earliest, I'd hope, round 3, but you never know. Someone could go really early, go round 2.
I think the quarterback position's ideal if you're that guy picking on the turn, like you say. Someone like James, maybe at the end of round 3, could maybe pick him at the start of round 4. I think that's probably the ideal time for them to go. In the NFL mock drafts on the website, they don't go till round 5 at the earliest. But we have some people who will panic, and as soon as they see Aaron Rodgers go off the board, it won't be long before Tom Brady goes. But I think there's enough good QBs there, obviously limited to 2 on the roster, so you're guaranteed a starting quarterback. You're guaranteed at least 2 starting quarterbacks if you want them. Who do you think's any players out there that you think might be a surprise and could be worth a pick later on?
Late picks. I mean, Darren Sproles is coming back from injury, and he's always been good fantasy-wise because he can catch and he can run. But Eagles now have plenty of running backs, so probably not. Not many. They've all kind of risen naturally to the top.
Yeah, I think generally the first few picks are going to be pretty much nailed on. I think those first 5 picks, I think we mentioned when we were doing mock drafts and stuff and seeing how it was all going to work. You're generally seeing the same 4 running backs with Antonio Brown going in that top 4. You're running a big risk, I think. Someone like Alvin Kamara, the sophomore season slump, coming off his rookie year. Is he going to have a sophomore season like Todd Gurley, where he gets basically no yards? Or he could have one like Jordan Howard, where he was very solid again. Who do you think is the best player in the draft?
The highest scorer or the best player?
Who do you think is the guy who's going to win you the league? If you're going to rely on one guy to win you the league, very much like Todd Gurley did for the Flying Baileys last year, who's that one guy who's going to take it?
Le'Veon, I believe, this year.
Le'Veon this year. I believe this will be his 3rd or 4th year where he's projected to get over 400 carries, I think it was, and a lot of people saying maybe injuries might start to stack up on him.
Yeah.
But obviously, you look the Steelers now that they've got Antonio Brown and they've obviously got Juju Smith-Schuster, who would be another worth a good pick later on in maybe his round 3 or 4 if he's still on the board. They might not focus on Le'Veon quite so much, especially when he's trying to get himself a big contract. Maybe if he doesn't perform as well this season, the Steelers end up getting him on a contract again next year, because maybe he shows that he's not worth as much. David Johnson coming back.
Yes.
What do you think he'll do? Do you think he'll be back to the DJ that we saw
risky
2 years ago? The guy that made you pick him first last year?
It's risky when he's just missed a full season. He might not be as sharp as he was. I mean, he's going to be fine, isn't he? That's why he's up there in the top 4 still, top 3 even. But you never know. New quarterback as well.
I think there's going to be a lot of reliance on David Johnson, with it being either Josh Rosen or Sam Bradford. Probably going to be Josh Rosen because Sam Bradford's probably not going to be able to stay healthy for more than 3 games at least. But I think For me, I think if anyone's going to fall, it's going to be David Johnson. I think you talk about Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Todd Gurley. Those guys are all going to stay in that top 5. If any of those running backs are going to drop, it's probably going to be David Johnson. But I don't think he'll fall out of the first round.
Oh, definitely not, because I know I'd pick him up if he fell to 8th.
Yep, same here. So he's going to be a guy that we know is going to go no later than 7th, really. One thing that I do want to talk about, the asterisk that you will see if you are watching the stream later on the 12th picking team, DT side Twats. Jack, what is that all about, just for people that might not know?
All right, so James Cartwright, owner of the T-side Twats, a little bit of a punishment this year. We nearly kicked him out of the league, as we did with 2 other members, who we shall just forget about. He made a few dodgy moves. He traded with Matt Glover for some, let's say, unfair players, and then once he was out of the playoffs, dropped his whole team like a child.
Now, obviously, the other key thing to mention is when you're out of the playoffs, you still have games to play. So not only did James throw his toys out the pram, literally threw his players back into the free agency, but he then also could not field the squad for his sort of consolidation games, so to speak. So I think really what he needs to do, I think that's why he's gone back there. And really this year we just want to see a little bit more maturity, so to speak, from some of the members, hopefully enabling themselves to have a nice solid season this year in the Ttffl. I mean, is there anything else you want to touch on, Jack, or are we going to have to go for a quick break?
I think we'll go for a quick break, put the pizzas in, get everyone seated properly, and then we'll come back and the draft room will be open. Yeah, when we come back, I'll probably be in a slightly different position. I'll be leading the discussion of the picks, but I'll be sat over there. The camera will have moved as well. There's a nice green screen there. You can see behind us is going to have you obviously see the ticker coming across the board already, but there's going to be... just want to say a quick welcome to our new players.
Yeah, welcome to the new players as well. We've got Callum Sanderson joining for the first time, Alex Springett for the first time. I think they're the only 2.
They are the only 2, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously welcome back to the other guys. Unfortunately, a couple of guys left the league, but hopefully it'll still be a nice 12-team 3-division league, which should see us right up until that Christmas time. I can remember Christmas Eve was the final a couple of years ago. I think that's always nice and fun. But yeah, we will take a quick break. We'll be back, and picks will be commencing from 7 p.m. So if you are taking part, make sure you are getting ready to pick. And if you are not taking part, 7 o'clock is when the fun will begin. So we'll catch you very shortly.
Here he is. Can he? Yeah. Huh? I can hear you. I can just hear you pooping. Yeah, it's good. It's a bit static right now, but I don't. I mean, it's like a bit jumpy. And now it's just gonna. Is that because of the NFL, or is it 'cause you're streaming through another company or something? I'm oh, yeah. Fucking Jewish. Huh? Cheers, mate. I just got some sticky, some what's it called? Um, I got sellotape and just turned it into like a double sided, stuck on my shirt. I was like, oh, perfect size. But gotta be when you're a head coach, mate. Draft day. Yeah. Probably Gurley or Le'Veon. I want to take Kamara though, but I don't want to drop that low because he could have a shit season. But I'm also tempted to take like Saquon Barkley because he could have a season like Kamara did last year because he is unreal, mate.